So the inspiration behind Magic Mole was one of my kids asked me to do a sketch and got my pens out, scribbled away, little space rocket. That then turned into planets and space. There was a black hole in that space picture. Hole rhymed with mole. And I drew this little character that magicked the magic hole. And there's a whole series of holes, isn't there? And who doesn't love holes in a kid's storybook? So I drew a picture of a mole, and that is how the Magic Mole stories came about. When I wrote Magic Mole, I had my dad's voice in my head reading the book. My dad used to read me stories by Richard Scarry. In his books, there were things to spot on the pages. There were little subplots going on with little characters hidden in places. It's exactly what I tried to capture here. And with my dad's voice in mind, 'cause sadly he's not with us anymore, we'd like to make some animations of the character. Just got to find the right person to fill my dad's role. It's not just about a book, it's about getting inside a kid's imagination at an important part of the day when you're actually getting some one-on-one time together. Really, really special. The reason behind writing the book in the first place was I believe kids grow up too fast these days, and that magic of being a child is kind of lost. I love those kind of Christmas stories, all of the things that those secrets that make things magical. And I wanted to write a story that was also moral. It had a moral code behind it that kids could kind of, I don't know, feel a little bit, interact with. But it's all told in a really fun, engaging and exciting manner. So it really captures kids' attention and, you know, allows a kid to be a kid and live in that fantasy world, which is magical. So yeah, I wrote the book 20 years ago and read it to the kids, and they loved it, found it really engaging. And then it resurrected when I moved house. The book just fell out off a bookcase, and I picked it up and thought I really should do something with this because it really did resonate with the children. I also printed a few copies of it, and mates had copies, and they'd occasionally just say, you know, kids always talk about that book. So yeah, it seemed a really great idea to publish that, self-publish. As a result of that, I've written 2 more books and hope to write many more. The purpose of the books is to make story time interesting and engaging so that the parent doesn't just read a story to a kid. They're reading the story together. So there's an interaction between parent and child, which makes story time something children will look forward to. But they're also riddled with interesting words. You know, their first chance of learning how great English language is. There's some longer words in there that mum and dad can explain while they're reading it. I mean, what kid knows what a black hole is? And that's another story in itself. However, there are moral codes written into every single one of those books. So the first book is all about perseverance. It's all about trying as hard as you can. It's also about making mistakes. I've made so many mistakes in my life, but you always learn from every mistake you make, and hopefully that makes you a better person. And I think it's really important that children understand that it's okay to make mistakes and having another go at something. Don't give up, because if you carry on having a go, you might make something of it. And that's a really important code to teach children. So when I wrote the book originally, obviously the kids were tiny. Now my kids are grown up and old enough to actually work for the business. So Harry, Poppy and Archie all play their part in bringing this book to its audience. I also have my brother Ben, who's written a soundtrack which is on one of the games. And then I've got friends who are working across the board on animations, on games, on you know, things to help children learn, building websites, those kind of things. So it's a really family and friends integrated business with its heart in the right place. That story time with parent and child is one of the most important things in life, in bringing up a child. That time that you spend, intimate time with parent and child, so important for growing up, those memories, and to make it an interactive experience is really special moments to remember when you're old like me. I think the moral codes behind the books are really, really important. We live in a day and age where things are so throwaway, and it's really easy to lose hope and to give up. I think what these books are trying to do is to teach you that to carry on, to keep on trying. If you've got goals, go for it. Anything's achievable. That's the whole point and purpose of Magic Mole.